Are you living your happiest life possible? Now is your chance to make a difference, to make a change, and really do what you are so passionate about. Have you thought about your journey? Are you where you want to be? Today, in this episode, I talk about my journey and how I've got to where I am. I would not be here if I hadn't experienced everything I have experienced in my life. And I really, truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And I'm so grateful to be where I am. Hello, you're listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. This podcast is for high achieving, courageous women who want growth and the know-how to scale their business online. Running a business is a journey and a process. The more we learn in action, the more we succeed. If you're a woman in business, this is the podcast for you. Be in the 5% of businesses that make it. Let's get bold and create the life we desire. I'm bringing my passion to you through advice, coaching, inspiration, and support to help you create and design the life and business you want to live. I am a Dubsado expert, CPD certified in social media platforms, and a lover of admin systems and processes. I am an accredited ICF coach specialising in trauma and narcissism. My own coaching journey has supported my growth immensely, and I want to share those highlights with you to inspire and give you courage. Let's get intentional with our goals and make them happen. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Courageous Goals podcast. Now, I never thought that I would be here recording a podcast of my very, very own, but I decided to step into my brave and get on with it, because if I don't, I'm not going to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. Now, I have been reading a book called Now Is Your Chance by Nick Pigeon, and basically I decided to throw everything into creating this podcast this week. Now, it's only a Thursday for me right now, so for the last 3 days, I have thrown everything into learning all I can about podcasting, how to edit, how to record, how to do the whole launch. It has been a crazy few days, and I'm now recording my first episode. I've already done my trailer, that's already published. And it feels amazing. And some of you may know already about me that I tend to throw myself into anything and everything. When I set myself a goal to do something, I tend to throw myself in, learn everything that I need to learn, and I just get on with it. And that's what has happened with this podcast. I've wanted to create one for 6 months or so, but I've always taken the back seat, and I've always thought, right, no, I'm not good enough to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't done the editing before. I have no idea how to launch a podcast. I just have no experience of it, like at all, absolutely zero. And so this week I decided, let's just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And I think so many of us are held back by that very thing. And we don't realise how much our own beliefs or comparing ourselves to others really affect us. And so I'm here creating this courageous podcast because I want you all to step into your brave and really fly into whatever it is that you want to do. What is it that you want to be? What do you want to create? Now, we are all here in this world, in this life, for whatever reason that is, and we have to find it. We have to be whatever it is we want to be, and we can all change direction, change our paths, do whatever it is that feels right for us. We might have gone to university and trained to be a doctor or an archaeologist or something completely different, and yet today we could be a business owner like myself right now and could be doing something completely different. But the point is, you have to experience those things to really know if it's for you, if it's where you're supposed to be in life. And if, even if you're going to enjoy it, it doesn't hurt to change your career and work out whatever it is later down the line that really, really talks to you as a person and feels right. So, at this point in my life, I can now finally say that I'm doing something that I absolutely love. And I've never felt like this. And running a business, being an entrepreneur is so, so hard. I'm working all the hours, all the time. I think about things when I go to sleep. I think about things when I wake up. And I'm not saying any of this to put you off being a business owner or to really make you think, what are you doing, spending all your time working on your business? But the point is, it's showing you my passion for what I'm doing and where I'm at. And I talk about my business a lot, like all the time. Like my family will tell you it's all I do. And I hope that I'm showing them that you can see the benefits of really doing something that makes you happy. Are you living your happiest life? And that brings me back to the book, Now Is Your Chance by Nick Pigeon. It's an amazing book. It's a 30-day guide, and she gives you things to work on each day. Now, I've been reading it just like it's a book rather than reading a chapter per day. But it's for those who really, really want a better life and to be working on the things that they really want to work on. And so I encourage you, I challenge you to really work out if you're in the right place for you right now. And so I hope to inspire and motivate you to be brave and just get on with it and do whatever it is that you really, really love and that you're passionate about. So I'm creating this podcast for that very reason. I want to give you advice, and I want to coach you and inspire you and support you in your life and in your business. And that's why I'm here creating this. So today I want to give you a little bit of background on how I've got to where I am today. And I'm sure that you can already see that I'm a hugely passionate person about something that I love doing. And that includes this podcast. I've wanted to do it for so long, and now I'm finally getting round to doing it. And it's so exciting, it really is. Especially because I never thought I would be here actually doing it, but I am beyond excited. Right, so I want to continue telling you a little bit about my background and how I've got to where I am today. And so my business adventure started out in 2016 when my youngest was 2 years old. And so I bought a sensory franchise running children's classes. I used to take my daughter to these specific classes when she was a baby, and we absolutely loved them. Like, they were honestly amazing classes, absolutely magical. And with my performing arts background, I had to dive in. So I bought my own franchise in 2016, set that up, and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I loved all aspects of it, from running the classes to learning the music, and obviously setting up all the admin in the background, setting up a booking system and marketing the franchise and getting people booked into their classes. I loved all of that. But then again, because of my performing arts background, I actually loved doing the classes themselves. So I was in my element completely, like running this business, this franchise. It was just magical. I loved it. So much hard work to start a franchise and kick it off. And yeah, 100%. But I worked all the hours because I was passionate about it. And yeah, that's where my self-employment history started. So I did that for about a year or so, but it didn't kick off as quickly as I hoped it would. And so with my personal circumstances at the time as well, I needed to be making more money. And so I decided to sell up my franchise and then go and find a part-time job. And I also became a VA associate for another VA agency, which then led me into this whole new world of running a business, working with different clients. And I absolutely loved it because I love admin, I love systems, I love processes, I love the whole thing that comes with it. And so being a VA associate really opened my eyes into what the whole thing entails. Obviously, it's easier being a VA associate because you're working with someone else and the responsibility lies with them because it's their client. But I decided that, right, this was for me. So in January 2019, I decided to launch my business myself, and I then got clients. I got clients on board, and it was amazing. It was really good. And I was booked out for quite a while. I was still working part-time, and then lockdown happened with COVID. So things changed quite dramatically, and I also had still a lot of personal things going on. So everything was quite a juggle. But I was definitely determined to keep going and see what happened. And then in 2020, summertime roughly, I really decided to change things up, but I needed to know how. So in September, I decided to quit my part-time job. I rebranded the business. I really launched into it. And then I decided to kind of lose the corporate sort of clients that I was really working with. And don't get me wrong, they're all lovely people, but there's a way of working with corporates, and it just wasn't for me. I have a corporate background, which I'll probably tell you about more one day. But corporate really isn't for me. I'm more of a creative, and being a freelancer didn't feel right working with corporates. So I ended up then working with a lot of coaches. So when I decided to rebrand in September and quit my part-time job, I went from one client with very little hours and working a part-time job to quitting, going full-time into my business and being booked out in 6 weeks. Now, everyone's version of being booked out is completely different. And for me, when I say booked out, I was completely booked out. I was doing a 35-hour week on client work, as well as my own business, admin, marketing, accounts, like all the stuff that goes with running a business on top of those 35 hours. And so it really was a crazy time, but I was loving it. And if I wasn't busy enough, then I decided to start a course. So I signed up to a social media course with Tech Pixies. You might have heard of them. They're a social media agency who support mums in going back to work, and it was amazing. The community there, which I'm still a part of now, is thriving. It's very good. Everyone's so supportive, and it really feels like you have some colleagues, basically, you know, because working at home, you don't have colleagues. I have a couple of associates on my team now, but we don't talk daily. We don't talk often. You know, we're always working on client work, and so it's very lonely sometimes when, you know, working at home and you don't have colleagues. So having a community around you really is it's amazing to have. So I've digressed a little. So if I go back to, yes, I was booked out, and then I decided to sign up to a social media course. That was also brilliant. Absolutely loved doing the course. So I'm now CPD certified in social media platforms. And there is another part to it where you can really do the full strategy management. However, I haven't done that side of it yet because now my direction has changed a little. Remember I said earlier about your path changing, and it doesn't hurt to change things, because having experienced things and learnt how to do it and actually working on it, it changes your thoughts and your processes. And so I've really worked out in the last couple of years that social media isn't the place that I really want to work. Like, I know how to do it and I do enjoy being on social media. I love engaging with people and creating connections and building those relationships, but it isn't something that I want to do daily for my clients. So whilst I was building my business in 2020 and again last year in 2021, I then came across Dubsado, which is an all-in-one management system, and it's been a lifesaver. It's been amazing. So I've been training in that. So I'm definitely a Dubsado pro. I know everything there is to know about Dubsado. So I'm going to soon take my certification in a couple of months' time when their next enrollment stage opens. So that's very exciting also. And when I discovered Dubsado last year, I also discovered the whole coaching world, which is a revelation. It really is. I started working with my own couple of coaches last summer, and some of them still support me now. Actually, they really helped me. We worked on a program together, and we worked on me and my personal journey as well as my business journey and how it all kind of migrates together. But I absolutely loved it, which then I ended up enrolling on a coaching course with Optimus Coach Academy. And that was last September. So this year in May, I graduated and I'm now an accredited ICF coach. And that's never been something that I thought I would say. It even feels weird saying it right now, but I absolutely love it. It's a magical journey. Every single session you do with a client is magical. You know, the way that ICF coaching works is pure coaching. So they bring a topic to you and you're there to listen and to think and ask certain questions to get them to where they need to be at the end of the session. You know, they might have a goal where they want to work on a certain something for, say, 6 sessions in a program. And it's your job to kind of get them there and support them and listen so that they're heard and that, you know, they can really work on whatever it is that they need to work on. It's not therapy in any way, shape or form. It's not mentoring, it's not supervision, it's nothing like that. It's pure coaching. If you haven't tried it before, I really encourage you to do it because it has done wonders for me. It really gets you to think. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy. When you're being coached, it's not easy. So you could start with something at the beginning of a session but end up somewhere completely different by the end of the session. That hour takes you on a whole journey, but it has been amazing for me. I've absolutely loved it. So whilst I've been on this journey of coaching, I've learned all sorts about myself and I've been reading a lot more as well. Like in my past, I've always loved the idea of reading, but it's not come naturally to me. And yet I have read so many books since being on this coaching journey. I'm trying to think of what books that I could really recommend. For me, there's this book called What Happened to Me. Now, I absolutely love it. I'm going to read it again at some point, but it's an amazing book. Again, I've read Now Is Your Chance, another amazing book. There's also another one called You Are a Badass at Making Money. There's another one called Power, Surviving and Thriving After Narcissistic Abuse. There's so many books that I've read that have been really powerful for me. And that last one in particular. So since doing my journey with coaching, I've now found that I've got a lot of trauma in my life and I've experienced a lot of narcissism. And so that's taken me on to another journey, and I've signed up with Caroline Strawson. So I've been working with her on her program, on her course, to become trauma informed and a narcissist specialist. And that's a whole new different niche, a whole new different area. But I'm sharing all of this with you so that I can empower and inspire you to get curious about your journey And if you're supposed to be where you are right now, is there something that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done? I never thought that I would be where I am now. You know, if you asked me a year ago, so it's literally about a year since I started working with my very first coach, and already I've done a coaching course. I'm now an ICF coach. I'm now training to be trauma informed and a narcissistic specialist. And I've also done a business course with Lisa Johnson. I'm really, really on a huge learning discovery, and it has been amazing. Now, I'll probably share more about each little area in different episodes, but for now, I just wanted to give you a rough overview on my business journey. Prior to that, I had no clue at all what I wanted to do for my career. I ended up being a mum very young at the age of 18, and so I decided to work around my children. So my career never really developed. I worked with corporate. I was in supervisory roles and I was really trying to climb the ladder, but doing it part-time just doesn't work. So for mums with children, I say mums, it could be dads also. So for parents with children and trying to really grab a career and find out what it is, where you're supposed to be, it can be quite tough. And so I'm so glad that I found this whole new journey in being a freelancer. It's been absolutely amazing. So I'm not sure where my journey is going to end up because I've had such a shift over the last couple of years, but I'm staying open and curious, and I'm developing and researching and signing up to things all the time, and it feels amazing to be where I am. And I just wanted to share my journey because I think it's worthwhile. I've got a lot of experience. I've learned how to do so much tech stuff in the background. I literally am the go-to person in my little network, in my little community. Like, people are always saying, Leanne, how do you do this? I'm in MailerLite and I'm stuck. Or, Leanne, how do you do this in Dubsado? And I'm usually there straight away. And even if I don't have the answer, I'll go and find it and then I'll go back and let them know, because I love supporting people. I guess that's where the people pleaser in me comes out, and it's not always a good thing to be a people pleaser. However, I do like being that way, because at the same time I learn something myself. There's always something that you can gain from being the way you are. So I really encourage you to get curious about your journey and where you're at in your life, and if there's more for you out there. So I want to share a little bit more about me. So as I've mentioned, I am a mum. I have 3 beautiful children, and this is partly the reason why I'm doing everything that I'm doing, because I want to create us a better life. I'm also a partner. I have a wonderful partner who I've been with now for about 2 years, and extremely happy. I never thought I'd have a relationship that I have now compared to what I have had in the past. So I am very grateful for where I am at, and I think that's partly down to my journey and discovering about myself and really getting down to working out what makes me happy and what I'm willing to settle on, and where my boundaries are and things like that. So it's been very interesting. At the same time, what else? I am a huge stationery lover. I also talk about stationery quite a lot. So for those of you that love stationery, if you haven't already checked out Hello Day and Martha Brooke, go and research them. They are fabulous businesses who sell beautiful stationery. And for those of you that are also a Christmas lover like myself, Martha Brooke do an advent calendar. How amazing is that? So I've had it for the last 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. What else can I share? I think that's probably about it for today. But I think I will probably share more about my story throughout different episodes. So I look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon. And if there's something specific that you would love me to talk about, then please do let me know. You're always welcome to email me, or please go ahead and find me on social media and contact me that way. I will be sharing stories with other courageous women. I have a Facebook group called Courageous Women in Business, and I will be interviewing some women here on the podcast, and I will share that with you very soon also. So that's it from me this week. And please do think about where you are on your journey and what courageous goals you can set yourself each week, each month, each year to really get to where you want to be in your journey. Thank you so much for listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode and taken something of value for you. If you'd love more advice, coaching, inspiration and support, head on over to join many other courageous women in business in our free community group over on Facebook. We'd love to welcome you. You can also find free useful resources over on the website at leannebrown.com/resources. Right, that's all for this week. I look forward to sharing another episode with you next week.